I cheated to win a Bible. In sixth grade, I trained for months for a statewide Bible drill, memorizing verses, racing to find references, and I had one goal. I was going to win that special gold stamp prize Bible. Not to read it, I was going to hoist it up as a trophy. And I was doing great until the final round. They called out the Beatitudes. Matthew 5, I thought, man, I know this. But my hands couldn't land on the right page. I'd go a little too far forward and then too far back. And then panic started to set in. The seconds ticked down and I made a choice. I stepped forward, pretending I had it, just hoping they wouldn't call on me. And they didn't. And I won the Bible. But every time I looked at it on the shelf, I didn't feel pride. I felt the weight of what I lost, my integrity. I think that was the first real tree moment that I actually remember. That moment of decision, would I trust God or would I reach out and take what I wanted my way? And the Bible, it begins with the tree moment, right? Adam and Eve, they were surrounded by abundance, had more than they could have ever imagined, but they wanted the one thing that God said not to take. And so when they grabbed it, they didn't find life. They found shame and hiding and separation. As we're celebrating Easter and the afterwards of that, I think of Peter. He had his own tree moment too. At the Last Supper, he told Jesus, even if everyone else fails, I won't. But just a few hours later, standing outside by a charcoal fire, he denied even knowing Jesus. Not once, not twice, 3 times. And when the rooster crowed, Peter didn't just fail. Something inside of him broke. Peter's Bible drill moment wasn't in front of judges, it was in front of Jesus. So you fast forward to John 21, Peter had gone back to fishing, back to the thing he knew before he ever met Jesus, but Jesus came to the shore and pursued him, and there was another charcoal fire waiting. 3 questions. Do you love me? 3 answers. 3 chances to come back. Jesus didn't cancel Peter. He came to find him. He came to rebuild him. Maybe you've had a tree moment too. Maybe you stepped forward when you knew that you shouldn't. Maybe you got what you wanted, but you lost what mattered. And if God wasn't finished with Peter, he's not finished with you. That's good news. Jesus doesn't meet you with shame. He meets you with grace. He doesn't say, I'm done with you. He says, do you love me? And if you do, then come back home, follow me. And then just like Peter, he hands your calling back to you. Because the resurrection isn't just about Jesus rising from the grave. It's about restoration. It's about broken things becoming whole again. About dead places being brought back to life. The place that you see as your greatest failure might be the soil where God grows your future. That's what happened with Peter. That's what happened with me. The failure wasn't the end. It was the beginning of new life. I kept that Bible on my shelf for years. At first, it was a reminder of shame. Over time, it became a reminder of grace. Grace I didn't deserve. But God, he used it to teach me something deeper than just winning some prize. He taught me that failure doesn't get the final word. Grace does. So what's your tree moment? Where do you need to hear Jesus say, do you love me? So he can say, then come back home and follow me. Because grace isn't just forgiveness. It's resurrection. It's restoration. And it's your new beginning starting right now.